is Makeup ASMR with Bean here. I hope you guys are doing really, really well today. So today's video, as you might have imagined, is going to be an ASMR story time video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing some images from a cross-country road trip that I took with my boyfriend a few years ago. And so I'm just going to be talking about each photo. This is obviously not all the photos, but just a little glimpse of our trip and some of the adventures that we encountered while driving across the country in 10 days. So just as a disclaimer, I had some photos that may have had some people in them or in the background, and I decided not to show most of those just for confidentiality purposes. But if you do see any people, they're far enough away that you can't identify them, except for me and my boyfriend, obviously. So just to respect people's privacy, most of what we're seeing today is going to be just images of landscapes. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put out new ASMR videos every Monday at 6 p.m. and makeup videos on Fridays at 2. So this first image is just the aerial view from the plane of LA in California. So we are from the East Coast. We flew all the way to LA, and that's where we started our road trip. In each state that we visited, we spent about 2 days. I would say one to 2 days as we traveled back to the East Coast. I wish I could have taken more time, but that's all the time we had. So we did drive between the two of us the entire way. So this is California at night, and we did have a lot of fun in California. We stayed at an Airbnb. It was beautiful. And here you can just see the palm trees in Los Angeles. This is near the beach, obviously, and this is just like a basketball court that I thought was pretty cool and took a picture of. We just did a lot of traveling around that day, visiting some of my boyfriend's friends that live there, going out to restaurants, going to the beach, obviously, going to Muscle Beach. The waves there are way stronger than the East Coast, and I am a little bit scared of ocean waves. But we had a lot of fun, and the temperature and the weather was absolutely perfect. I would so love to live in California one day, and all their food is so delicious and so fresh. So in the car that we rented, we were obviously driving all around, and as you will slowly see approaching here, this image is of the sunset, which was honestly way more beautiful than this even looks. It was absolutely stunning, and we were on like a highway, sort of like exit or something. So my boyfriend was driving and I was taking all the pictures. But yeah, this was like on the highway. This was the skyline that we saw, and oh my gosh, it just looked so pretty in person. Like, this doesn't even capture how beautiful it was, honestly. So unfortunately, our California adventure had to end and we moved on to Las Vegas. So this is a picture of me. I was in a little bit better shape then. Just a little bit. I have to maybe get back into that, but whatever. So this is just me on like a walkway over downtown Las Vegas. Well, pretty much all of Las Vegas is downtown. But we were there on like a Monday, I want to say, so, or Sunday or Monday maybe. So it actually wasn't as fun as I had hoped, because people are probably there a little bit more on the weekends. It was also atrociously hot out. This was in July. It was so hot, so we went out a little bit, but we got some good rest that night too. And now this is just what a lot of the roads look like out there west. A lot of them are very long and sort of like you just look forever and it looks like it never ends, very flat. So I thought this was a cool picture that I took. This was on our way from California, leaving California. Leaving Las Vegas actually. This was after Las Vegas, and I think we might have been heading to Death Valley. This was so long ago, you guys. I'm like trying to remember. This might have been in between Cali and Las Vegas at some point, but I know we were like on our way to Death Valley, which is technically in California actually. So yeah, it was just very cool scenery, nothing like on the East Coast. And then this, I believe we saw in between California and Las Vegas as well. This is a big debate we had if whether or not this was a wolf or a coyote or a fox or what. So please comment below if you know what specific animal this is. Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty small, but it looks like more like a dog to me. Like of the dog variety, you know, of the wolf variety. But I wasn't using the camera I have today, so it was not as good quality, but still pretty good. And I was able to zoom in just in time to capture this photo. So I was a little scared, to be honest. There's like no wildlife, and then all of a sudden, like, we just see this thing. Okay, so this was Death Valley, you guys. I might have to say that this was my favorite part, but I know it was my boyfriend's favorite part. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before in my life. Death Valley was like incredibly hot and dry. It was over 110 degrees. I want to say the peak of that day was 130 something. When you step out, your sweat immediately evaporates. So we weren't sweating, we were just very dry. My lips got like really dry. It just looked insane. Like, I don't even know, what is that, rock, sand? Like, I couldn't even tell. It just looked unreal. It looked like a portrait or something. And then this is just a picture of me dying of heat stroke, but just looking out into the abyss, literally like abyss, just contemplating everything. Like, wow, just stunned by this imagery. And I mean, this is why I'm like barely wearing any clothes too, because it was so hot. I probably got sunburned within like 3 minutes. So yeah, if you have the chance to travel to Death Valley, I highly recommend it. Just make sure you have plenty of water, a safety kit of some type, I would say. Let people know that you're going, because it is literally out in the middle of nowhere and there's no cell service. Make sure you have plenty of gas, etc., etc. always putting safety first. My boyfriend makes fun of me for that, actually, because he's more of a daredevil. But I'm always the mom of the group. So here's just a picture, I guess our proof that we went to Death Valley. Yeah, so it wasn't part of our plan, actually, although most of the trip was sort of unplanned, I would say. But it was so worth it, and I'm really glad that my boyfriend convinced me to go. So we had a lot of fun. We didn't spend too much time lingering in this area because I was having a little anxiety over being afraid that we would just shrivel up and get lost. But yeah, if you go like in a group, it's probably a little safer, I would say. And just one more image, because honestly this was the most breathtaking thing I've ever seen. Obviously we didn't go out and like walk on all of that stuff. I don't even know if that would be allowed, and it's kind of like disrespectful, I think. I mean, I'm not sure, there weren't like any signs like saying you should go out there, and who knows like what kind of creatures are out there, so I don't know if there are even any because it's just so hot. But it was certainly enjoyable to look at, and just, I didn't even comprehend like how or why something like this exists, but honestly that's one of the beautiful things about the United States, I think, is that there's so many different types of landscapes throughout the whole nation. So moving on, this was actually my favorite place to visit. I wish I had some better images from this adventure, but we spent a lot of time hiking and stuff, so I more so took videos and whatnot. But this is Zion National Park. Zion National Park. And it is gorgeous. It has like those red rocks that you see often in the Midwest, and lots of hiking. It's also very dry there, although it did rain a little bit, thunderstorm, I think. It was just absolutely stunning. So we went on this trail. There was little like rivers flowing and stuff. It was a pretty long hike. And then right here, this is just like a billboard thing of the emerald pools. So there are 3 emerald pools, and each pool, as you go up, it shows there's the lower, upper, and 2 upper pools. So we did visit all of them, and it was a very long and tiring hike. So when you get to the top, it looks kind of like that, the very gushing waterfall with an area down below that people were going and swimming in, even though it said not to. It wasn't like deep or anything, but it was very refreshing. So yeah, the first pool isn't really that exciting, but it gets more exciting the higher you hike, which is kind of like, you earned it. If you made it to the top, you earned the view. And then this is just like a cute, I don't even know what this animal is called. I'm trying to remember, but it is definitely a Midwestern animal, sort of like a deer or something that we would have here on the East Coast. They were very, very gentle. I mean, obviously I didn't like touch it or anything, but they were right up next to you at the park, like eating the grass and stuff, completely harmless, like just chilling and grazing. They were really, really cute. So also, if you know what animal this is, please let me know. I always like to learn these things. If our road trip had been longer, I would have spent like more time trying to like research and find out like the background of everything. Okay, guys, so this is an image of my boyfriend and I, and we found some nice strangers to take this photo for us. We are on the end of one of our hikes, both looking pretty sweaty. This wasn't the Emerald Pools, I don't believe. It was a different hike, but still at Zion National Park. So yeah, this trip was really fun for us. We actually hadn't been dating that long when we decided to go on this trip, so it was definitely a bold move. So yeah, we went from California all the way back to the East Coast. And I will say that we had some fights and we had some good times because we are different personalities. So he's more of a daredevil and I'm more of a scaredy cat. But sometimes I can have fun too. So it's hard to tell what this picture is, but if you see in the center, there's water droplets coming down from the top, and this is one of the Emerald Pools. Very, very small, like spring almost. It wasn't an actual waterfall, but it looked really cool in person. And if you were walking along the trail underneath, you would get sprinklings of it on you, which felt amazing, honestly, because it was so hot and so tiring hiking all day. Oh, and this is just a random structure of some kind. I honestly wish I knew more about like geography and stuff because I don't understand like what this is. I know it's rock of some kind, but you know, how did it get here? And just it's so interesting to like find out how these things evolved. It just seems so randomly placed, but here it is. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys know anything about this kind of stuff. I would love to learn. I should probably watch like a documentary or read a book or something, but I already read so many books as it is. Add it to the list. So this was, I think, just leaving like that area on our way. This was definitely on our way to what you see now, which you might have guessed. This is the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon. So this is the Grand Canyon. Very touristy, I would say, compared to the other places we visited, because everybody wants to see the Grand Canyon. So it was, you know, busy, but it's so big that it doesn't ever feel that crowded. Honestly, it was just breathtaking. Anyone that's been there would probably say the same thing. It's just, it looks like fake almost, like it looks like a painting in the background, but don't be fooled, it is definitely real. It looks like I'm standing way closer to the edge right now than I really am. You know, I would never get that close, but people were literally walking all the way out onto the very edge and dangling their feet over the ledge into the canyon. And I was like, are you insane? Like, what? So scary. Yeah, some people, there's like a book of all the people that vanished or died in the Grand Canyon. It's like insane. Sorry, I don't mean to be so dark. It's very scary if you're afraid of heights. But if you're you can technically hike down the trail all the way to the bottom and back up, but it would take days, if not weeks. And we just didn't have that amount of time, nor am I that experienced in hiking that I would trust myself to make it down and back successfully. So we just did a basic walk around at the top. On I think the north rim is where we were. It was so long ago now, it feels like it was, so I'm trying to remember, but this is why I have pictures. So yeah, this is just another image where you can really see everything. Sorry if you just heard my fridge turn on. My refrigerator keeps doing that. So yep, this is the Grand Canyon, and we had a ton of fun exploring, taking pictures, just walking around and talking to people, talking to tour guide people. This is some large tangly tree that I was sitting in. Yeah, there's lots of cool wildlife here, lots of elk. Funny story, I was driving into the canyon at night, like we were driving to a motel at night, and I apparently almost hit an elk. Luckily I didn't, but they're like very, very large, and I didn't even see because it's just so dark, but luckily I saw a car stopped ahead, and I stopped in time, and they were waiting for the elk to move, so it was insane though. It was like, I didn't actually see it, but Jonathan saw it, because it was dark, and I wasn't looking where the elk was. I was looking like at the road, and the elk was more to the side. So yeah, apparently they are huge. So this is Jonathan, my boyfriend, and he's just blowing a kiss to the horsey. This is one of the horses. They have horses, and they have like mules and stuff that they use to assist people in going down, up and down the trail at the Grand Canyon. They just keep them all in this area. Not sure if we were supposed to be in this area, but we adventured our way there, and nobody said anything when they saw us, so hopefully it was okay that we said hello to this little horsey. But it's very cute. Lots of cute wildlife. Just a very eye-opening adventure. And it really wasn't like expensive or anything, so it'd be good like family trip if you wanted to take a bunch of people, your family, and go. Okay. So I'm obviously not gonna show you guys every state that we drove through, just the ones that stood out the most to us. So this is Austin, Texas. So it is a very, very cool city. One of my old coworkers actually had told me about it and how much fun it was, and it didn't disappoint, let me tell you that. That was the Museum of the Weird. It was a lot of fun, really great, like going out scene there, and very hot. And this is, so we made our way through many, many states and finally made it back to the East Coast. This is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Gorgeous state. I would totally move here one day. Absolutely beautiful. Amazing outdoor scene. Beautiful palm trees. Beautiful beaches. So warm. The sand is so soft. The waves are perfect. Everything is perfect about Myrtle Beach. Obviously, we were only there for like a day or two, but I really enjoyed it and would totally go back there for a vacation or to move to the Carolinas. I think they're really, really nice. So we were very tired by this point. So when we made it to Myrtle Beach, we pretty much decided to just relax. I think we went out to lunch maybe. We went swimming. Just dove right into the ocean with our backpacks on our backs. Straight from our car that we rented. Didn't even have a motel or anything. We did visit some relatives there. Yeah, and this was the last, I would say, exciting part of the trip. And then we just made it back up the East Coast. And we went through a lot of states that I've already seen, that we've both already seen. So the rest was kind of undocumented because it wasn't exciting to us. Been there, seen that, you know what I mean? Okay guys, so this is the end of our journey. It was a 10-day marvelous trip across the United States. We definitely want to do it again, possibly in the northern part of the United States this time. So please comment below and let me know what you guys thought of this type of ASMR video. I go on adventures quite often, and we both love to travel. We also go to raves a lot, EDM raves. So let me know if you ever want to see some documentation, like photos or anything of those experiences with ASMR, either included or not included. Either way, let me know. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, which is something I didn't know about for a long time. But if you click this, you will get updates as soon as I put out a new video. Just get a notification so that you can watch it right away. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tagging along with me for this little recap of my trip. Well, I should say our trip. Jonathan and I had a lot of fun on this trip. We're so glad that we could share some of it with you guys. So I hope you guys have a very relaxing night. I hope you have sweet dreams. And maybe you'll start planning your next